Okay, so I thought I would do a little post painting, tour of what's happened with the dollhouse and where it is right now. And while I'm busy doing the instructions, I'm taking a break so I can show you what I've done since I did the last video. So as you can see, I've painted it. And I used some internet photos as inspiration for the color. I started with like a deeper red and then worked towards a lighter red and then some orangey yellow on the edges because there's a couple of pictures of Amanita mushrooms like that. And I thought it was stunning. I just loved the whole gradient. And so I went with that. And this is the dots, and I used this stuff to do the dots. And as you can see, I painted red behind here. I would have been smarter to paint the red first and then glue it to the back of this once I did the white painting on it. But other than that, I didn't stain glass these windows. I could if I wanted to, but I didn't. I just thought that they looked fine just the way they are with their lovely little lacy appearance. I also painted the stem a kind of brownish white, and then I dirtied up the bottom a little bit because, this is growing out of the soil. These are not structured into the dollhouse. I just added those with extra foam clay that I had, and I've been adding them in since the first Amanita Cottage. I think the first Amanita Cottage, I used air dry clay and I used pins and super glue just to make sure that the air dry clay adhered nice and strongly to the foam clay. But if I push this foam clay, it's a little bit squishy, a little bit. And if I do this, it's squishy here too. And it's squishy here too. So if you're going to add any type of different finish to the outside of this, you want to make sure that you use measures to make sure that it's well adhered to it. These were put on after I finished drying this, so they didn't stick too well. So I actually used wood glue and put wood glue on there while this was still wet, and I shaped it on there. I also needed to put some kind of support, so I used this water bottle and I put it under here while it was drying. So there is actually a bottle cap shaped thing underneath here if you looked closely, but it holds it up and makes sure that it keeps the shape that you want to keep, because foam clay will droop as long as it's drying. And I did the same here with the smaller bottle. But I also wanted to make sure that this can open without interfering with that. With the prototype, it actually did. It dried and kind of shrank down a little bit and got in the way of the window. So as you can see, if you had the batting, you probably would have a little less obvious ribbing going on here. I didn't use the cotton batting. I said wool in the last video, but it's actually cotton that I was talking about. And I didn't put an awning over this one. I thought these two just kind of look cool and consistent together because they're basically the same window. So inside, I haven't glued in my railing yet because I still want to sand this down some more and smoothen it. Possibly use some acrylic putty to smoothen it even more, cover up some of the bumps and lumps in here. Since this is a display unit, I want it to look, marginally presentable. And we'll go from there. I'm not finishing anything else in here. I'm just going to sand this down, clean it up as best I can. I'm leaving the floor bare. I'm leaving all of these things unpainted because this is my display unit and I want people to see the built parts of the interior. So I'm going to leave it bare plywood. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. As you can see, I clayed all the way up and I went all the way up to the very top underneath here. And I clayed back here. I foam clayed back here and on top of here. And there's also the Durham's rock hard water putty, so it's like super hard underneath here. So it's a nice strong arch. I wouldn't pick it up by the arch. I would pick it up by pushing up here on the bottom. Your dome is going to be nice and strong because you use that water putty. That stuff is crazy. The more of it you use, the stronger it is. The thicker it is, the stronger it is. It's amazing stuff. But all that's left for me is to finish this dome on the inside and glue this in. So I have what I need right now to take a picture for the cover and for the instructions and have a demo unit so people can see what it looks like when it's finished. But that is where the dollhouse is and where it's going to stay for a little while. until I get some sponge sanders and figure out what I want to do with the dome inside. But other than that, she's done. So that means the kit is done. And so now I am presently finishing up my written instructions on how to do this. Even though I have these YouTube videos, there will be on the written instruction page a QR code that will lead you to the videos whenever you need them. Once those are done, that's it. The kit's ready to go. I am going to be releasing this coming week. It is July. Let me look at my date here today. It's the 26th of July today, which is Sunday. I am going to be listing the first 6 kits by the end of the week. Turnaround will be marginally slow. It takes a lot to cut these dollhouses out. They require a lot of plywood. So when you order, there's going to be, I don't know, possibly a week or 2 week turnaround time before you get your kit. And those first 6 kits will go out, and then I will renew the run depending on how quickly the first 6 kits go. Then I will put them up on my website and people can just order them as needed. Then I will start working on other cool dollhouse projects. So also my website has all sorts of other miniatures and kits that you can buy that are in this kind of aesthetic and you can also buy this staircase, the little wood stove. Those you can get separately if you want to use those in your own dollhouses or your own projects. Those will be available. Yeah, so that's where I am right now, and keep an eye out next week for the kits.